Before Moana 2 was created, it was decided they were going to do a Disney Plus series instead of a movie, but Bob Iger really pulled the card like, what the hell are you guys doing?
God, please, no! No! No!
And this is a very smart call by Bob because this movie's making a buttload of money at the box office. But does this Oceanic sequel ride on the same wavelength as the original? Let's dive in. Our girl Moana is back, older, wiser, and absolutely killing it as both a leader and a warrior. She's basically an ocean-faring superhero at this point. While it's satisfying to see how far she's grown, the magic in the first film was seeing her struggles, whether it was mentally, spiritually, or physically. But in the sequel, she's breezing through all challenges like she has a Game Shark set up to give her all the cheat codes. It's like her entire hero journey arc is skipping to straight to the end where she's just awesome and she can solve anything. And the problem that creates is that it makes the stakes feel really, really low, and a lot of the big moments feel kind of predictable. And the new supporting cast, really liked them. Actually, I liked them a lot. They were lovable. They're very marketable. So I know the kids are going to like them, buy the Funko Pops, the posters, and everything that they can get based on this sequel. But they are as shallow as a tide pool. They add comedy, chaos, and they add a little bit of relevancy to the plot and their relationship with Moana, but they mostly serve as like crash dummies for her to save to show how awesome she is. And in the first film, Maui felt more like a co-lead of a character with Moana, or just right under. In this one, he's still fun, he's still funny, and he has some good action sequences, but he also feels like he drops into the sort of supporting cast bucket here and gets a lot less to do and a lot less interesting characteristics like he had with the things that he was struggling with in the first movie. That was very disappointing because I really enjoyed his character in the first one. And let's talk about the antagonists. So some really interesting antagonists are set up in the film, but they're hardly in the film, so you don't get really attached to them. In the final fight, what a facepalm moment. It is a thundercloud beam in the sky, raining down lightning. Like, really, Disney? Did we dig into the generic villain draw to get this one out of the bag? Or this was a trope that movie studios ditched a long time ago because it became so repetitive, lazy, and just really, really boring to see on screen. But unfortunately, this rushed sequel pulled it out. And the film's pacing is an issue as well. The movie spends way too much time on Moana's island, and I really like the residents of the island. I really like seeing her culture, but the moments on the island is spent recapping what happened in the first film to her now little sister, and not really fleshing out the changes that are happening on the island or the lore or any of the spiritual aspects that we got to see in the first film. By the time we actually hit the actual plot and the meat and potatoes of the film, it's like, bam, speed mode activated. A very, very slow start, but then a rushed middle and then ending. It felt like it was one of those studio movies that they gave them a certain time limit of where the plot could be, but they didn't know where to share the moments. And I know that this originally started as a TV show, so they kind of patched together the episodes together and made it look more cinematic. You can really feel the episodic feel of it, but unfortunately it cuts a lot of the moments that the big swings and drop downs that you would get in TV shows, because this is a movie. It's supposed to have a three structure act, and it's just kind of cobbled together. And I know I sound like a Debbie Downer. This is a kid's movie, and I gotta say, I do like the film overall. I just felt like it was a step down from the original, but this movie has beautiful animation. It expands on the lore of Moana and what's going on with her character and the different things that are out there, especially with the enemies. Adds new characters that are really lovable and had a lot of fun watching on screen. The action sequences were much larger and a lot bigger. It just felt like the creators or whoever was behind this, because there was different people doing the music, different people who directing and writing from the original movie, didn't have a clear vision with the way to put this movie together. Where you start from point A and when you finally get to point B, some things are not answered clearly, and I know it's a kids movie, but there's still stuff that we shouldn't have to fill it inside of our head. Fortunately, it makes this film feel like a cash grab for kids, something that's bright, beautiful, and fun that the kiddos are gonna love. But the adults are gonna be like, "Whoa, what happened to all my really great song sequences that I liked from the first one, or some of the mature moments from the first one?" The first one had a lot of emotional, spiritual moments that took a toll on Maui and Moana throughout the adventure to make them relatable and have some character arc and struggle. The film pushes all that aside to add more jokes, songs, and action sequences. And yes, the animation is absolutely chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous movie worth seeing on the big screen. And yeah, the comedy works. I laughed throughout the film. I chuckled here and there, belly laughs, but I chuckled and I had kind of smile on my face most of the time. And the action sequences are on the level of the final fight for the first one. That's one thing I gotta say is an upgrade. They made all the action look great from the beginning. One thing that's definitely a downgrade are the songs. In the first film, the songs kind of push the plot along. This one, they do not at all, and they never hit the how far I'll go levels of great music or the song that Maui says, "You're welcome." It's no song that's as memorable as that here. The movie's fun, but it just lacks the soul and the stakes the first movie had to really recapture that magical feeling. And to be clear, parents out there that are going to take their children to watch this, do not worry. The kids are going to eat this up. During my showing, kids were absolutely loving this film. It's bright, gorgeous animation. It's breezy. It moves really fast. It's something by the time you get to the end, you're like, whoa, it's over already? And it's nothing too convoluted or complicated for the kiddos to understand and like. When I was watching it, there was a whole bunch of kids in my audience, even a baby. Best baby I've ever seen a movie with in my life. They were quiet when they needed to be quiet and crying when they needed to cry. And they all loved it. They were laughing, they were cheering. Some of them clapped at the end. I heard a best movie of the year from some of the little kids there. So this is definitely going to work for the kiddos. No worry there. It's just that there's lacking some substance there for us adults to enjoy it with the kiddos as well. 102 is like a summer beach day until you forgot your sunscreen. Enjoyable, but wish there was more care and depth put into it. So grab your paddle, sing along, and get ready to enjoy a flawed but fun solid ride. This movie is going to make a whole big bank amount of money. There was a really awesome cliffhanger at the end of the film, which assures a third movie. And I really hope with that third film that they kind of either get back the original creators of the first one or find a new set of creators to really make the third one shine like the way this character deserves. So with that said, I'm going to give Moana 2 a C. The question of the day is, what is your favorite Disney animated movie? Drop your answers down below and you can watch more content right now.